former BYU quarterback great Max Hall, who's won a ton of games. In fact, he's the winningest quarterback in BYU football history. Max, great to have you back on the show.
Hey, guys, how you doing? That's got a nice ring to it, doesn't it?
Yeah,
that's nice. Hey, who did you like more when you played, Dennis Pitta or Austin Collie?
Oh, don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. I'm gonna say Austin. Dennis was kind of I can't say it on the radio. But,
yeah, I like that answer. I like that answer.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Fall camp starts today, and I know all of us are feeling that little twinge of energy because we're almost there. 29 days away from BYU Utah to open the season. As a player, Max, what is it like to come in and experience day one of fall camp?
For me, it was always, like you said, it's exciting. You kind of get a little bit of nerves, a little bit of butterflies. Everybody's kind of got that feeling, hey, football's starting. You really get a chance to see what the team's going to look like, and guys are still kind of fighting for starting positions. And it's competitive. It's fun, man. It's fun to see how fast, from an offensive perspective, you guys can click and get together, and all the hard work you put in the off season and spent with the receivers, and how that gels together. But sometimes it takes the offense a few days to get rolling, but the best thing is just that feeling that finally football season is here. So that's what I love about it.
In player-run practices, you can see who's doing what and who's putting in the work and whatnot, but when you get to fall camp, those first couple days, do you know who really put in the work and who didn't immediately, just by the way they look?
The players know. The players that they're putting in the work, they know, and there's chemistry there that comes. But, yeah, I think guys are more sharp. They're more crisp. They know what they're doing. They're on the same page. And you can definitely tell. I think the coaches can tell, too, within the first couple days who's ready to go and who's lagging behind.
Zach Wilson is the incumbent starting quarterback. You know what that's like to come back and be the guy that is expected to take the reins and go with it. What kind of pressure is Zach Wilson feeling on his shoulders right now?
Knowing Zach, I don't think he's feeling a lot of pressure. I just think he's got an attitude and a swag to him that I would assume that he's more like, this is my show. Let's get this thing rolling and let me take this thing where it needs to go. So he's definitely got a confidence to him that I really don't think he's feeling pressure. We need to get this thing going and show everybody what he can do.
You're literally coming off the practice field. So how did practice go this morning for your offense?
We actually had a really good practice. I was very pleased. On Monday, we had a really bad practice, and I was screaming and yelling at the kids, which, I got Dennis Pitta and Tyler Kozlowski coach with me over here.
Boy.
Sometimes they just laugh at me.
Oh, boy.
It's like we're playing again. Dennis and Tyler are over there goofing around, and I'm having to tell them to shut up and be quiet,
I would happily do that for you.
I need you.
Is Dennis there right now?
He is. I think he just took off.
Oh, classic.
He might still be over there. Should I go grab him?
Yeah, grab
on?
Dennis. I need to have a chat with him.
While you're walking to get him, Max,
while you're talking.
While you're walking to get him, Zach Wilson said to the Salt Lake Tribune in an interview that he, and speaking of confidence, expects to score on every drive. What do you think about a statement like that from a guy that is just heading into a sophomore season?
I love it. Because I thought the same thing when I played. And, it's what I love about it is it's a mentality. What kind of mentality are you going to have every time the offense goes out there and gets the football? And that should be your mentality, that we're going to score every time we get the ball. And I love it, man. It shows a lot of confidence from Zach and a lot of confidence with his teammates. So hopefully they kind of feed off that. And, they can roll with it, but that's exactly what you want your starting quarterback saying.
How big of a leap do you think the offense will take with year 2 of Jeff Grimes, year 2 of Zach? Now he knows he's the guy. Last year he was kind of competing with Tanner Mangum. Ultimately, Mangum won the job. How much of a leap do you think the offense could take this year?
Okay, hold on. I didn't hear that question because I'm calling Dennis over right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Dennis Pitta is making his way over to Max Hall.
Yeah.
The two hanging out,
Dennis not
coaching
even chat here.
football in Arizona as Max is live with us on BYU Sports Nation. Now, Max, while Dennis makes his way over, I do want to ask you about the X's and O's factor with Zach Wilson. And Jeremy and I had a chance to sit down with Zach and film a commercial last week, and we essentially just had like a half an hour or an hour to talk and pick his brain. That dude loves football. Like, he's a really smart kid, and he gets good grades, but he cannot get enough football. What have you noticed about your interactions with him and how his knowledge of the game has progressed since last year?
The little bit I know is I was able to spend some time with him in spring ball, and I was also able to spend some time with the coaching staff and get their input. And just at that spring game, we sat there and talked ball for probably an hour. And I was actually really impressed with his knowledge of the game. I think he's a film rat, watches a lot of film, studies the plays, and then talking to A-Rod's like, man, Zach is texting me all the time, asking me about plays, everything down to releases and mesh points and, reads and all that. So you're right. I don't think he can get enough. And he's definitely a football guy, and that's the type of guy we need right now. We need a guy who's all in, invested, and knows every detail of the offense. That's the guy you want in control.
You were on
Say hi to Dennis.
Oh, Dennis is here.
Real quick.
Dennis.
Hello, Jerem.
We actually had time for Dennis Pitta today. How are you today, Dennis?
You know, I do have to say, I am sick of you guys disrespecting me every segment at the end of the show.
What? We didn't have time.
Not funny, okay?
Oh.
Dennis, Max said you guys are dorking around. He's trying to run a practice on offense. He needs you to dial it in. What's going on?
Yeah, I just am here. I'm talking to the kids. I'm just joking around with them. I'm always the one getting yelled at by Max at practice.
Just like
He directs it at the kids, but he's really talking to me.
Yeah.
Dennis, you just stole the show, man. You just stole the show.
Whoa. Time out. What do you mean he stole the show? He gets on one time and complains, and now he's stealing the show? He's back there chit-chatting with the guys. I got to turn around and be like, hey, can you guys be quiet for 1 second? And
We need last chance you with your team. That's what I want.
Goodness. Yes.
Listen, Max is just mad that I stole his thunder right now. I feel bad. I'll get off the call. I'll let him finish. He needs his moment right now.
Yeah, we've had our fill, Dennis. We're good, man.
Hey, I'm so mad. I'm so mad right now because KSL came out with something like rating top BYU players, and I was 8, and they put Dennis and Austin in front of me, and I'm just like, who made that list?
Who was the winningest quarterback all time in BYU football history?
Yeah. Oh, Dennis goes to a Super Bowl, catches a touchdown, the lights go out. Big deal.
Hey, I'm pretty sure I won just as many games as Max. He gets credit for all the wins.
That's true.
I might be the winningest tight end in BYU history, and nobody's giving me credit for that.
You're also the dude whose helmet fell off the most.
That's exactly right.
Oh, my goodness. This might be the greatest interview we've ever done on BYU Sports Nation.
It was really good up until a certain point. It was good, yeah.
You guys need to start calling me the winningest tight end in BYU history because I played every game that Max played.
That's going to happen.
I actually have a few wins he doesn't my freshman year.
Dennis,
That's true.
That is going to happen.
That is true.
The winningest tight end in BYU history, Dennis Pitta.
Thank you.
Wow, Dennis. I had one thing going for me, and now you just stole that.
We can share it together.
Holy cow. Hey, it's great to talk to you guys. Dennis, we'll let you go because we have to ask Max at least one more important question.
All right. Thanks, guys. So it's always a pleasure.
Thanks, I think.
Oh, Max. That's great stuff. Okay, let's finish with this. BYU opens the season against Utah. They are the Pac-12 preseason favorites. They've never been in this position. Why or why not do you like that BYU is opening the season as an underdog at home against their arch nemesis?
What I like about it is that when I say we, BYU has had that in their mind and have been practicing for that all off season. It kind of reminds me of my senior year when the first game of the season was Oklahoma. It was like we had 3 months to prepare for that game, and hopefully BYU is going to come out and give different looks and do some things that Utah's not prepared for. Obviously, Utah's going to do the same, but I think it gives us a little bit of an advantage because they don't really know how to game plan for us, and we can maybe surprise them a little bit. But regardless, you never know what's going to happen in that game. And I think if we can create some big plays and do some things to confuse them, we're going to have a really good chance to win the game. I think it's going to be hype. I think we're going to be excited. We're going to be healthy. That's another big thing, and gives us the best chance.
Max, we appreciate the time, man. And listen, you're the winningest quarterback.
You're the winningest quarterback.
Before the winningest tight end, okay?
I am so depressed right now. I don't even know how to.
Max, thanks, man. Great to talk to you. Let's do it again soon.
Absolutely, you guys. It's a pleasure. Talk to you later.
All righty,
Thanks,
Max Hall on the Deseret First Credit Union Hotline. Deseret First, you know why, we show how.